Good morning, everyone. Dr. Val here. Kind of excited to be back on a regular routine and hope everyone had a great holiday weekend. So today I'm going to talk about my number 2 health tip, which I've talked about number 1 before. It was a 2-part video. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. So here's my number 2. If I have to tell anybody anything about here's what you need to do to start getting healthy. That's today, number 2. Number 2 is eat good fats. Okay, I grew up in an era, really as long as I have been alive, when there has been a huge push by the agencies that told us what eating healthy was all about, and fats have always been bad. And people still think that to this day, even though the data and the science are proving exactly the opposite. Our high-carb, low-fat diet, which is what our current food pyramid is, that says we're supposed to be eating, 5 to 8 servings of whole grain, wheat, and bread, and pasta, and rice, and fats sparingly. That's what our even current food pyramid looks like. That has led to our nation with the greatest obesity, highest rates of heart disease in the world. So our current food pyramid is not correct. Okay, fats have a huge stigma of being really bad for you, really unhealthy. First of all, there are good fats and there are bad fats. Bad fats increase the inflammation overall in the body. Well, as a whole, let me just give you the bad fats first. Vegetable oils. Anything that is a vegetable oil, corn oil, canola oil, safflower, cottonseed, soybean, those are the big ones. Okay, all the vegetable oils, not healthy. First of all, many of them, particularly corn oil, which is used all over, corn oil is made from GMO corn, which means you've also got genetically modified corn to withstand, to kill off my mind is going blank, the beetles that eat the corn. They have a gene in them that makes their stomachs explode. Well, guess what? The bacteria in your gut have that same pathway. So eating GMO products, corn especially, that have that Bt toxin, which about 85 to 95% of all corn in this country and all corn products, corn starch, corn flour, cornmeal, corn syrup, all of that comes from GMO. Almost 95% of it comes from GMO corn. So that does the same thing to the bacteria in your gut. So when you eat regular old corn or corn products, you're killing off a huge percentage of the gut microbiome, the gut bacteria in your gut. You need good bacteria in your gut. You don't want everything dying off. They are responsible for helping you to break down food, for digestion, to pull certain nutrients out. There are certain bugs that without them, you can't absorb and can't get certain nutrients out of your food. Your body doesn't have the ability to do it. You have to work together with these good bacteria to get the full nutrient spectrum out of your food. So you need healthy bacteria in your gut. So when you eat things that destroy that balance of bacteria, that causes huge nutritional problems. So most of the, particularly the corn oil, but a lot of the vegetable oils are contaminated with either the pesticides outright or they are GMO. So that is a whole other separate problem. But the way that they process most of the vegetable oils, they are very inflammatory in the body. They bring out a lot of inflammatory processes that your body's like, I don't like this, I need to protect myself from this, and it heightens all of the inflammatory processes in the body. So it has been linked to, and by when I'm talking about vegetable oils, I'm talking about hydrogenated oils, if you see that term, trans fatty oils, trans fats. Those have been directly linked to increasing obesity, increasing cancer, increasing heart disease, strokes, the plaque buildup, because they are so inflammatory. It's the inflammation in the walls of the arteries that leads to cholesterol trying to protect the artery wall, that leads to plaque buildup. So when you're eating a highly inflammatory diet, which the two of the biggest things, well, I'll say three, but wheat and sugar, which I'm going to lump together because the body sees them essentially the same. Wheat and sugar and vegetable oils, very, very, very inflammatory. The body's trying to protect itself, and that leads to plaques. So you get heart attacks, strokes, heart disease, plaque buildup, because those fats jump on, are triggering all of that inflammatory processes, and then the cholesterol in your body is trying to help heal that wall. So it leads to, high blood pressure, strokes, heart attacks. Vegetable oils also cause liver and kidney disease. The liver is responsible for producing bile, which bile is what breaks down fats that you eat. The liver, the trans fats in the liver will block certain ducts and make a higher fatty liver percentage. That, along with sugar, both of those really increase the inflammation in the liver, leading to liver disease. Now, most people are not walking around going, well, I have liver disease. Most of us don't. But from looking at CAT scans, MRIs, and ultrasounds, most people have an asymptomatic fatty liver, okay? It is so common now on scans that it's not even mentioned because, well, that's not what they're looking for. Most people have what you can see as a fatty liver on scans. I would see it every single day. It was an incidental finding most of the time because that's not what you were looking for. It was just, and there's a fatty liver. And because modern medicine, conventional medicine, doesn't really think that there's anything you can do about it per se, or that there's any dietary link or inflammatory link, it doesn't mention it, it doesn't focus on it, and it doesn't give you a solution. But sugar and vegetable fats and wheat are the things that basically are leading to a fatty liver. Fatty liver that goes unchecked for decades, you're going to have problems down the road. So stay away from vegetable fats. Now, the good fats, there's, I'll mention extra virgin olive oil first because you should not cook with extra virgin olive oil. It has a very low smoke point and a very low point at which it starts to break down. But I will also say this. Most of the extra virgin olive oil on the shelves is fake or watered down with vegetable oil, basically. There are websites out there, I will try to put a link on here, that actually lists what good extra virgin olive oil companies are out there, because if you're going to use extra virgin olive oil, you need to use the real stuff. The real stuff, you can cook with it at low temperatures. but it's so much better fresh. If you have never actually tasted real extra virgin olive oil, it's amazing. Tastes totally different than the very bland, half rancid things that you find at the stores. So there are some websites that have a listing of good companies that are actually making extra virgin olive oil, and you know that's what you're getting. When you first open a bottle of extra virgin olive oil, it should smell like a bouquet of fresh herbs. It should smell very herby, like basil and fennel and olives. There's something very herb laden in the smell. So if you have never opened a bottle of olive oil and just, oh, that smells like fresh herbs out of the garden, then you're probably not actually eating olive oil. So, word of warning. But olive oil is great raw, making your own salad dressings, putting it on top of things. It's a really good source of good fats. So the ones that you can cook with, the ones that are good at different heats, I'll say, let's see, medium heat. Medium heat cooking, like 325, 350. Coconut oil is really good for cooking with. It's a percentage of MCT oil, which is medium chain triglyceride. There's combinations of lauric oil and a whole bunch of others that are very antimicrobial, antiviral. They actually improve the health of good bacteria in your gut and decrease the bad bacteria in your gut. So it's kind of like a probiotic superfood for your gut when you have coconut oil. So that's a great thing to cook for. Coconut oil is also one of those fats that is the least likely to store on your body because of the composition. It doesn't get stored. It gets used in many, many other ways, whereas the trans fats in the vegetable oils, the trans fats trigger visceral fat storage, or that adipose fat, the fat around your organs, the fat around your middle. It actually triggers more of that to be stored around the middle. So coconut oil doesn't do that. Fats are not all the same. That's what you have to remember, because I grew up thinking, fat is bad, everything low fat, and that's not true. So another really good thing to use when you can find quality vegetarian fed, not corn fed, not wheat fed, is animal fats like tallow, beef tallow. For example, a good quality beef tallow is beef fat. Well, if you can find that from grass-fed beef and free-range chicken, poultry, if you can find those kind of tallow products, great. And there are companies out there that make them. If you have a good source of that, that's a very good source of fat, and you can cook with that pretty well. The more common ones that you can find in the store are grass-fed ghee, which is a clarified butter, and grass-fed butter. Kerrygold is a big brand of grass-fed dairy products. They make grass-fed cheese and grass-fed butter, and they taste amazing, first of all. But when animals are fed what God intended them to eat, meaning cows eat grass, then the products that those cows make, all the milk and their meat, have almost a completely different protein structure than cows that are eating a 100% grain diet. The inflammatory markers in those proteins when you eat that cheese or when you eat that butter looks completely different. So if your dairy products are not from grass-fed cows, then they are highly inflammatory. Milk, there's a lot of studies out there that show that dairy is triggering a lot of autoimmune things and allergies. Well, a big reason is because it's very inflammatory when it comes from grain-fed, corn-fed cows. Grass-fed products don't do that, and a lot of people that can't even tolerate the dairy or the milk can find that, oh, I can eat grass-fed dairy products. So there's a big difference between the two, a big difference. So look for that in stores. I know Kerrygold, I just read an article this morning that Wisconsin, not Michigan, Wisconsin has banned Kerrygold products because they want to support local dairy. It's kind of a cheese state. Local dairy instead of the Kerrygold products are Irish. It's an Irish based company. So they don't want international businesses to interfere with the local business. And I'm all for supporting local business, but they're making it like illegal in the state to sell it in the state. So sorry if you're in Wisconsin. You're going to have to buy it on Amazon or something. But for the rest of us, it's in Walmarts now. It's in most of the big stores. They have, organic. Organic is different than grass-fed, but organic, you want to read the labeling if you can find organic milk, organic sour cream, organic. Now that means they used organic feed for the cows. Now they could have used organic grain, organic corn, but ideally you want a grass-fed dairy product, grass-fed and organic dairy product. So grass-fed ghee, grass-fed butter, and then the last of my really good oils to use would be avocado oil. Of course, eat avocados, eat almonds, eat things that are high in good fats. Eat coconut. You're getting all that good oil in there. But avocado oil is a really good high heat oil to cook with for like sauteing, searing, anything like that. I don't think it really has a taste to it for people that don't like avocado. It looks just like extra virgin olive oil, so I keep it in a in a jar, right next to the stove. That's my go-to when I'm grabbing something. So, excuse me. And another thing is that good oils, those good oils, there's a lot of other cultures that eat a lot more oil than we do. And they've been doing this for a lot longer than we have, that healthy oils help you absorb certain herbs much better. Like turmeric is kind of hard for your body to absorb without oil on board. And in India, a very old, if you want to call it a medicine, it was something that everybody did, but turns out it's really, really healthy. And that was a golden milk or turmeric tea or turmeric milk. They would take turmeric with coconut milk. So you're getting, in the coconut milk, you're getting that coconut oil, along with something that had a little spice to it, like black peppercorns or black pepper. And there's a number of cinnamon and some other spices in there. And they blend that all up, and they would drink it as, after, they would drink it when they were sick, they would drink it after meals. It was very common, and now we find out today, oh, look, turmeric is best absorbed in the body when there's some fat present and when there's something that triggers that capsaicin, that spicy receptor like in that case the peppercorn or the pepper, that it makes the turmeric able to be absorbed much better. So, there's things that, we're just now figuring out, and we look at other cultures and they've been doing this for a long time. So we have a lot to learn about that. But healthy fats, you've got to get rid of this conception that fat is bad or that butter is bad. Okay, butter and margarine, unless it's unless it's grass-fed milk that it's coming from, it is bad. It is very bad for you. But grass-fed butter, man, bring it on. Load up your whatever with, not your bread, but load up your stuff with grass-fed butter. It's really good. I put it in my coffee every day. You should try to get 1 or 2 tablespoons of a good oil in your body. Actually, really 2 to 4 tablespoons of a good oil that you should be eating every day, a combination of oils. So if you're cooking with those good oils, plus if you do things like drink bulletproof coffee, those are ways of getting additional fats into your system. If you are really nauseous when you're getting fat, when you're eating fat, a high fat diet, first of all, start a little less. Try a little less. Put a little less on your food. Eat it or drink it, however you're getting it. Eat that with food. Drink your bulletproof coffee with some other stuff as well, until your body gets used to it. Oftentimes, the nausea is because your liver isn't healthy. It's not able to process the fat load that you just gave it because it's so blocked up with the other fats, the bad fats, that it makes you nauseous. As you eat a cleaner diet, start eating less inflammatory foods, your body's actually able to properly process what you're getting, and you won't have the nausea anymore. So something to think about. But anyway, try to get more good fats. Good fats should be a much higher percentage than what you have probably grown up thinking. What I grew up thinking was, just a little bit. I only want a little bit of butter, only a little bit of this, only a little bit of cream cheese, a little bit of sour cream. Oh, those are rich and fatty and not good food. No, if it's a good source, you should be eating a lot of it, along with fruits, along with vegetables and fruits and good grass-fed meat and good sources of other meat, and stay away from the processed foods. So that's my healthy tip number 2. Good fats. Try to eat more of it. Leave your comments or questions or thoughts below. I'd love to hear back from you, and we'll see you again next week, same time. Have a great day.